Hi, 8th grade. This is Mrs. Cartwright here. I was looking at my videos to have you guys watch for the 2 steps for solving equations with fractions, however you want to go about it. And I figured after looking at what the worksheet generator generated, it may be more beneficial to go off of some of the problems there. So we're going to start with problem number 1 from your worksheet. The first thing you're going to do with anything, if there are mixed numbers in your equation, you are going to make them improper. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I need to make that 5 1/8 an improper fraction. So the rest of it's going to stay. I'm going to keep my 3043 over 96. And I'm going to multiply denominator times my whole number. So 8 times 5 is 40. Plus my 1 is 41, so now I have 41 over 8 x's. And then I keep my 1/3 because it was a proper fraction, not a mixed number. From here, I'm looking for that LCD, least common denominator. That least common denominator, when I multiply through, will help me get rid of my fractions. So my LCD in this case is the fact I know, looking at it, that 8 and 3 will divide into 96. So my LCD is going to be 96. Knowing what my least common denominator is, now I'm going to multiply everything, both sides, because I have to treat an equation equally. I'm going to treat both sides by taking them times 96. Now, 96 is a whole number, but that I can think of any whole number as over 1, which to me means that top and bottom both have, in this case over here, a 96. So I can divide out a 96. They are both left with 1. So then I'm taking 1 times the 3043, and that leaves me with 3043 equals. And then I'm going to distribute this 96 over here. And so that 96 over here, my computer should be charged enough. I'm going to take this 96 over 1, and I'm going to take it times 41 over 8, right? Because I'm going to take it across. Now again, 8 divides into 96. It divides into it 12 times. So I'm really now, this is 1 times 12. I don't need the 12 there. So now I'm going to do 12 times 41. And 12 times 41 gives us 492. X. And then I'm going to do the same thing. 96 over 1 times 1 over 3. And I know 3 goes into 96. I just did a blank there. 32 times. And now I'm going to take that 32 times 1, and so this will be minus 32. From here, I am now going to solve my 2-step equation. Now, are these numbers pretty? No, they're not. But they are better than working with fractions. And I know how to work with fractions fairly quickly. But I had a negative 32, so to zero it out, I'm going to add 32 to both sides. 3043 plus 32 gives us a 3075 equals 492x. I need to get x by itself, so the inverse operation is to divide by 492. And then, dreaded, but yes, you have to simplify. Now the first thing I notice is 7 plus 3 is 10 plus 5 is 15. So this is divisible by 3. And 492, 9 plus 4 is 13, 14, 15, also divisible by 3. So we're going to divide each of those by 3. Let's see if I can adjust this so we can see more of the board. So when I divide each of these by 3, well, I hate writing it like that, divide by 3, because that wasn't correct, I get 1025 over 164. The thing is there's more that comes out of this. And the more that comes out of it is 41. And really the only way I figured that out was by trial and error. So yay, Mrs. Cartwright. All right, which gives us an answer of 25 over 4. And that is as simplified as it gets. Okay, if you are struggling with knowing what to divide out, I'm pretty sure Miss Belay and myself, I know myself, we would be happy to help you figure out what to divide by. I'm going to pull up our next question. I am going to pause my recording though so we don't have to waste time. All right, for our second example, does exist on your problem or on your worksheet. Can't remember which one it is. I'm pretty sure you will easily find it. Again, first thing, I always suggest any mixed numbers make them improper. So we're going to rewrite this as 26 thirds equals, we're going to take the 3 times, or the 5 times the 3, which is 15, plus 1 is 16. So 16 fifths times P plus 11 eighths. So from here you have 2 choices. We could distribute the 16 fifths through and go ahead and multiply 16 fifths with 11 eighths and then find a common denominator from there. That is one way. The other thing I did was I know that my numerator up here will already take care of the denominator down here. And so I just, when I multiply both sides here, I'm actually not going to multiply to the outside and to the inside. That was why I chose this problem, and so that we can talk about when we have distributive property. And then though I'm distributing a number to both sides, I'm actually not going to multiply it to the number on the outside and to the numbers on the inside. And the reason is because then technically that number will end up being multiplied twice, because this number out here is then also going to multiply through the inside. So I went ahead, and the way I went about it was I know that 3 and 5 have an LCD of 15, and I figured I can start there and then see if I needed to go further with what's left inside after. So I'm going to multiply this side by 15, and I'm going to multiply this side by 15, remembering that actually all I'm taking this 15 times is our coefficient in front. From here, the way I'm thinking about it is 15 divided by 3, that equals 5. And then I'm going to take 5 times 26, that gives me 130. Equals. And then over here, if it helps, I am taking 15 times 16 fifths. So again, 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then 3 times 16 gives us 48. I hate that, that's not equal. All right, from here, and again, we didn't multiply through what's in parentheses because I already took that 15 times what's on the outside. Now it's going to distribute through. And so now I'm going to multiply these. At this point, I've already looked, and I know that 48 is divisible by 8, so that I don't have to do any more. My 11 eighths is going to take care of itself. So the 130 is going to stay. I'm going to distribute the 48p, so now I have 48 to the p, so 48p plus, and then 48 times 11 eighths. Again, 48 is divisible by 8, so 48 divided by 8 is 6. 6 times 11 is 66. So if you needed to see that laid out, 48 times 11 eighths, I'm dividing. So this becomes 1, and 48 divided by 8 is 6. And then I am taking 6 times 11. That was everything that I just thought in my head. Said out loud, but thought in my head. From here, now it's just a two-step equation. So we're going to subtract 66. And then, again, I need to adjust so that we can see it all. 130 minus 66 is 64. And my 48p will stay. And then I've got my inverse of multiplying 48 times p is to divide by 48. I am left with just p, right? And then both of these, 64 and 48, are divisible by 8, leaving me with 8 over 6. But that's not completely divisible or simplified, so I'm going to divide each. I did it again. Divide by 8. Now I'm going to divide each by 2. And so then p will equal 4 over 3. And that's your final answer. And if you wanted, you could plug it back in and make sure that that all works out. But that, again, in itself is a lot of work. All right, so that's our second example. I know this is getting long. If from here you understood, by all means, you are good. I will probably just make this last example into its own video, and that's in its own sorry, the video did something weird, multi-step, but also it'll take more than the limit I have. So if you need that next one, or if later you're like, ooh, I need help with another type, there will be one with combining of like terms in the next video. Have a great one.